Hello again, everybody. This is an episode called the Conference Hangover, or alternatively, the name dropping episode, and you'll probably figure out why I thought about that later on. But I just finished a 3-day conference experience at the Council for Exceptional Children annual here in Indianapolis. And first of all, why they hold an annual conference in a cold weather destination like Indianapolis is beyond me, especially in January. Last year in Tampa was amazing because of the weather. But that being said, as usual, it was a wonderful experience in a few different ways that I'm going to talk about today. First, I got to present with some great colleagues from my doctoral university on a study that I helped with prior to my graduation. It was well received, I think, and a lot of questions, good questions asked from the audience. But I didn't bring down the discussion, so I consider that a win. But I love seeing everyone from OSU at conferences like this. And we had a great time catching up, either at the conference itself as we're walking through the hallways or in each other's presentations, or definitely at the impromptu social event at the bar down the street one night. But these are people that I'll always turn to for advice and help wherever we may go. Okay. Once we graduate, we get jobs, we go different places, and that's just the nature of the business. But I've built up such a relationship with these people that I trust them for their advice, and I appreciate the help that they might be able to give me, and I'll always do that in the future. So that was nice that I got to spend some time with those people as well. Additionally, I got to see some other friends that I generally only see at conferences, and I think we probably mostly met at conferences and built up relationships, even though we do have a social media relationship presence, whatever you want to call it. But it was good to catch up with those people as well and see what they're doing in their practice and in their researches. That's nice. But I also saw one of my favorite people in the field of special education at the CEC Division of Research event. And I'm a member of the Division of Research in CEC, and so I like to attend those things. Dr. Fred Spooner has been a big influence on my research. I mean, he's at the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, and he and his group down there do a lot of work on teaching academic stuff to kids with more severe disabilities, like I do. So he's been a big influence on me, and what I consider to be a good friend as well. We have some things in common outside academia that we talk about when we're together, but I feel greatly honored every time he comes up to me, says my name, and we talk about stuff. That just blows my mind. That's what I consider to be a giant in the field. One, knows my name, and two, cares enough to talk to me about what I'm doing and things like that. So it's always great when I see him at conferences, and I try and look him up whenever I can, just to say hi. But on a side note, I don't know, some people might call this a man crush or whatever, but Dr. Spooner is one of the best dressed men in the field. He's always well put together with a bow tie and a suit, usually a 3-piece. Very nice, well put together. So we should all look that cool, as I say, as I'm sitting here in shorts and a sweatshirt. But if you ever get the chance to meet Dr. Spooner, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, however, most of my time at the conference was attending presentations related to early numeracy math interventions, because that's where my current research interests lie, right? I'm working on ways to teach those prerequisite skills. Why is that so hard to say? Prerequisite skills to learners with more severe disabilities, right? And I was happy to see so many different presentations at this conference, okay? I had one whole day where I was moving from presentation on math to presentation on math to another and another and another. Now, the downside to that is that many of them were by the same people, okay? So as I'm getting in there and I'm sitting down and we make eye contact, because we've talked at the end of previous presentations, we've talked about what they're working on, what I'm working on. So we kind of joked that, there was some stalking going on, or whatever you want to call it. It was kind of funny. It was just a joke between us. But, we did have really good discussions about their research and how we might be able to collaborate in the future on some things. So that was nice as well, despite the stalker thing. Oh, there it is again. but it's nice to support that similar kind of research, at least for me, and take good notes away from stuff like that. Doctors Jenny Root, Bree Jimenez, Pei-Ling Wang, and Sarah Powell, all had great presentations. They gave me a lot of ideas for my own research. And that's kind of the point here, right? And although they might not have been using video prompting, although they weren't, like I've used video prompting, and they sometimes targeted maybe a different population, maybe less severe, maybe more mild or moderate, or kids with just, ASD strictly. Some of the things they talked about were completely relevant to what I wanted to do. And so that's another important reason for going to places like this. Sarah Cox, Nanette Hammonds at Florida, and Bonnie Henning from Fairmont State, also doing some great work with math interventions. And it's, in talking to them, again, more possible collaboration ideas, directions for my own future research. So it's encouraging to see so much work being done on this topic, right? Reading interventions get the press, get the most attention. But in my opinion, math is just as important for independent living as reading is. So we need to be teaching that as well. So the moral of this story is that you should take the time to attend these conferences, right? Yes, they can be expensive with hotels and airfare and things like that, especially the national ones, right? But even the local conferences attract really good speakers that can help you advance your own learning, right? Use the time to increase your network of friends and colleagues, pick a topic that interests you, and learn something new, right? And enjoy the rah-rah feeling that you get from just being there, okay? There's just like this buzz about special education here at CEC, about behavior analysis at ABAI in May. You just feel energized just from being there, and then you add into there the information you get from attending these presentations. It's just a huge boost in your morale and in your own learning within the field. So I encourage everybody to take that time and do that. So I know I'm all energized about my research now. Not that I wasn't before, but I'm bringing some new stuff to it, I feel. And I think it's going to be a good addition to what I was already doing. So, but thanks for watching. I'd love it if you left me some comments about your own conferences experiences. Let me know how things have been for you if you've been to a conference, either if it's good or bad, and continue watching. Thanks.